1993. What a year it was. So much going on in the world. Rock music was at its highest zenith. TV was a wonderland of daytime slap fights and nighttime infomercials.
Stop the insanity!
Video games were good too, and plentiful, with lots to choose from as the 16-bit era matured, reaching the point where nearly everyone had a game machine or two in the house, and dozens of titles to go along with them. As those companies fought for your hard-earned paper delivery money, or easily given grandma birthday money, they came up with some really bizarre, wild, and oftentimes confusing marketing strategies to sell you their wares.
It even slices and dices, makes thousands of julienne fries.
But none of them take the cake more than Alfred Chicken. Oh, you didn't hear about that one? You remember Alfred Chicken, right? One of the many animal characters that came about in the mid-90s. Right alongside Bubsy, Aero the Acrobat, Rocket Knight Adventures, Earthworm Jim, Rocky Rodent, James Pond, High Seas Havoc, Star Fox, Plock, Awesome Possum, Punky Skunk, and I could go on. Out of that mix, Alfred Chicken was born. Actually, he was hatched. He is a bird, right? The game was produced by UK developer Twilight and published by Mindscape in June of 1993 for the Amiga computer, which was quite popular in the UK and European continent. Ports of the game did end up on the Nintendo family of hardware, as well as the short-lived Amiga CD32. Alfred Chicken stars a rooster named Alfred on a mission to rescue chickens who were kidnapped by robots who want to make clones for some reason. Well, not every game can have a story like Final Fantasy VII. The game, dare I say, is very Western. That is to say, the action takes place across large, wide areas full of exploration. In every stage, there are hundreds of shiny objects that don't really do anything, but make you feel accomplished for finding them. You bounce around these huge levels, find the exit, and move on. And I say Western, as I have found many games coming from outside Japan fit this template. Jelly Boy, Zool, Jazz Jackrabbit, Gex, Rayman. I think you get the point. Contrast this with Japanese games where the action is much tighter. You're forced to follow one track, there are sparse items and power-ups, and the games overall come with a higher level of difficulty. And of course, if you grew up in places where Nintendo dominated during the 1980s, the contrast made games like Alfred et al. Really stand out, and honestly feel kind of weird. I mean, why are there so many diamonds just sitting out there? Super Mario World made you earn them coins. At Mindscape, product manager Carl Fitzhugh was put in charge of marketing for Alfred Chicken on the Amiga. Yes, traditional print media was done in the spring of 1993, but our friend Carl seized a unique opportunity when fate stepped in. On the 13th of May, 1993, Robert Adley, a member of the British Parliament who represented Christchurch in Dorset, England, suffered a heart attack and assumed room temperature. A special election was called to provide Christchurch with a new living representative. The vote was scheduled for the 29th of July. With Alfred Chicken soon going on sale, Carl Fitzhugh came up with a hilarious idea. Run in the special election under a newly formed political party, the Alfred Chicken Party. As it turns out, anyone with £500 could file for a candidacy. So for 2 months and change, anytime the election in Dorset came on the news, Alfred Chicken got a free plug. Although it was a long shot, the Alfred Chicken Party did appear to have a semi-serious platform, pledging to stand up for the rights of chickens everywhere. After all, there were no constitutional protections against robots kidnapping chickens and cloning them. Oh, the injustice. Carl himself made campaign stops all around the region, dressed as Alfred Chicken, posing with fans and asking for their vote. And most likely encouraging the public to run out and buy the game, which was the whole point of this exercise. Let's take a sidebar here to mention that a guy in a chicken costume running for public office is something that screams normal in Japan from every angle. Yet I must state that this has never happened. No robots have run for office either. Though former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe did dress as Mario in public on occasion. That's the closest we ever got to this level of crazy. When election day came, the votes were cast and tallied.
Fitzhugh, Carl, 18 votes.
Carl Fitzhugh and the Alfred Chicken Party came in 11th place, behind other protest or joke candidacies from the Monster Raving Loony Rock and Roll Party, the Sack Graham Taylor Party, the Ian for King Party, and the Highlander 4 Wednesday Promotion Night Party. Being a not British person, I have no idea what these are, or if they're funny. The winner of the election was Diana Maddock, with a margin of 16,000 plus votes. She lost the following election in 1997, but held local office elsewhere in subsequent years. Carl and Alfred never entered the political arena again, but were cited specifically a few years later when discussing election reform in the UK. Laws were passed to increase the threshold to qualify for the ballot in the late 90s, to keep so-called nuisance candidates from running. When Alfred came to the NES, Super NES, and Game Boy in 1994, Mindscape took a different tactic, borrowing a page out of the They Might Be Giants Dial-A-Song playbook. Print advertising urged curious individuals to call up a special telephone number, 1-800-ALF-REDC, for a special message from the chicken himself. And boy howdy, if you called up, you were in for something special.
Alfred Chicken, Super Alfred Chicken. Thanks for calling, and I'm coming really soon. Really soon. Like the end of March, I'll be in every toy store, every department store, every cool place where they sell Nintendo games. And I work best on Super Nintendo, and also on Nintendo and Game Boy. I'm really cool. I'm way cool. Every magazine's talking about me. If you don't have me, you aren't cool. So get me now. March 23rd, you can find me. Alfred, help me find my girlfriend. Help me find the watering cans. That's a clue, kids. The watering cans. And look out for the mousies. Bye.
After the game went on sale, like Alfred said on the 23rd of March 1994, the reviews came in. They were okay, not great, which was par for the course for most third-party games at the time. The game was fine, but it was just one of a dozen also-rans competing for the space that was dominated by the big two, Sonic and Mario, a fitting parallel to his political adventures across the pond. The Game Boy version made it to Japan in 1995 and features Super Game Boy compatibility, for what it's worth, while Alfred's Adventure made a surprise appearance on the Game Boy Color in 2000. Alfred had one more go on the PlayStation in 2002, with a 3D-style game that really looked like the same old Alfred Chicken game as before, but made to fit the rules of 32-bit games. Those versions were published by Mobius, which later became a part of Rockstar, so there's that footnote. But with Mort the Chicken already available on the PS1, the people had clearly spoken. Alfred was never seen or heard from again. I have to wonder who those 18 people were who voted for the Alfred Chicken Party. Did they work on the game? Did they just blindly choose? Was it to stick it to the man? We will never know. But for Carl Fitzhugh, it was mission accomplished. He got a lot of press for Alfred Chicken way back when, and rather cheaply. All it took was £500. Just to show that money doesn't go as far as it used to, £500 wouldn't buy you the publicity it did back in 1993. These days, all you can do with £500 is give it to one YouTuber who will half-heartedly read a script in the middle of a video that's completely unrelated to what you're shilling. Which reminds me. Thanks for watching this episode of GTV. But first, a word from our sponsor.
He needs some milk.
So there were two chicken games on the PS1, Alfred Chicken and Mort the Chicken? That's like when you had Gordy, a movie about a talking pig, and then at the same time you had Babe, another talking pig movie.
Bye.
Wait, Highlander 4? There wasn't even a Highlander 3 yet.